Hello Curious and welcome back! When it comes to the gaming world, one computer game that has become somewhat of a household name has been Minecraft. Most people had at one point heard of or seen something from the simple block game, and it was one that has allowed people to freely unleash their creative side and make some rather incredible and mind-blowing things. But just how did this seemingly simple game begin? Who are the people behind this phenomenon and where did they get their inspiration for the game from? How much money did they make from it? Why has the company moved away from the creator of the game? And is it dangerous for children? Stay with us until the very end to find out all about this gaming phenomenon, but before we continue, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our future videos. Before we get into the sums of money that a seemingly simple game has made, let's look back at the beginning and how it all started. The game had its origins in Sweden and it was created by Markus Persson in the Java programming language. Prior to coming up with this game, the man worked as a game developer with King, where he learned a number of different programming languages. During his off time, he worked on his own games, one of them being Ruby Dung, a base building game. In March 2009, he left King and joined another company, J-Album, but on the side, he started working on his prototypes. In April that year, a block-based open-ended mining game called Miner, which had spiked Persson's interest to work on how he would take Ruby Dung forward. In the end, the game was shelved by the creator, and using its codebase, Notch began working on Minecraft, which first became known as the Java edition, and it was first developed in May 2009. That very same month, he completed a rough sketch of the future hit and posted it on the TIG Source forum. And that, Curious, was the very beginning of Minecraft, the simple building and survival game. Back in those earlier days, Notch took to his Tumblr, where he posted about it. The response was very positive, and I was blown away by the frame rate and how well it ran in a browser, so I decided to go for it. And the further the game went, with more updates, the more popular it became. However, Markus had a plan that was not to release a finished product, yet keep teasing the players with updates, and thanks to that marketing ploy, it got more and more people talking about it. After about a month since the initial release, he started charging money for the game, with the original price being €10. Speaking about his decision to do so in a 2021 PC Gamer interview, he said that if he didn't start charging, he would never get paid, especially if he waited until the game was complete. Less than a month after the sale of the alpha version began, it sold over 1,000 copies and gained over 20,000 registered players. This was enough for Notch to scale back the hours he spent on his day jobs and dedicated more to Minecraft's development under the Mojang specifications banner. A year later, in May 2010, he was able to quit his day job. By June that year, there were 20,000 paid registered accounts. Soon the company changed its name to Mojang Studios, and other Swedish coders began to get on board with Notch's game. Game designer Jacob Persson revealed that when Markus told him he wanted to hire him for the game, he decided to quit his day job the next day. Soon the duo was joined by business developer Daniel Kapish Kaplan, CEO Carl Mannen, artist Markus Junkboy Toivonen, and coder Jens Jeb Bargenston. As the sale of the game continued to expand, the team would continue to grow along with it. According to the most recent news about Mojang, the studios now has about 600 employees in its fold. By January 2011, the game marked the milestone of having 1 million Minecraft accounts registered, and just 6 months later that number grew to 10 million. So it was time to get the game even further, and in order to do that, the developers had to branch out to the rising smartphone market, and this is how Minecraft Pocket Edition was created. Not long after that, in November 2011, the entire game was officially completed and lost its beta status. From then on, the more successful the game became, the more developers worked on it. In 2013, it landed on PlayStation 3, and as of now, the game is available on platforms such as Xbox One, the iOS system, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Wii U, among others. However, one of the biggest moments in the history of Minecraft was the sale of the studio and the game itself to Microsoft for $2.5 billion in 2014. The idea to make such a move was Persson's, as according to media reports at the time, he was tired of criticism from eternally displeased fans. The decision had made the creator of the game a millionaire overnight. And so, Microsoft kept working on the game, collaborating with Telltale Games for a Minecraft story mode, which was released on all platforms, including Netflix. In the interactive series, the viewers are given the option to make their own impactful choices throughout the story. According to the most recent reports about the hit game, as of 2020, it has generated $415 million in revenue, and the mobile game, which has accumulated around 93 million sales, accounted for $110 million. According to Statista, by 2020, the game had sold a grand total of 200 million copies. The Chinese edition, which is a free version of the game, has amassed 400 million downloads since 2017. All this has totaled up to around 693 million copies of the active game in circulation. Looking at those statistics, it looks like the game has not only a widespread success, but only seems to have a chokehold on the gaming industry that it doesn't seem to be letting go of. The estimated sum of how much money the company has made from the sale of merchandise is unknown, but given that there has been plenty of it, from Lego sets to figurines, plushies, costumes, clothes, books, and many other things, it would be safe to assume that the sum would be also in the millions. But besides being a fun block-playing creation game for all ages, could this platform be used for something else? It has been used for some positive things, such as letting people creatively express themselves. And seeing some of the creations that people have made in the game, it is unsurprising. Players have recreated many things, from the entirety of Middle-earth to Night City from Cyberpunk, King's Landing, and even Disneyland. Some of these have taken creators as much as 2 years to complete. Even movement groups such as Reporters Without Borders have gotten on board with it. In the game, they built the Uncensored Library, the goal of which is to provide free access to texts, articles, and books to people whose government limits internet access, and by doing so, empower the young generation. And all because they found a loophole, which is that in all those places, no matter how much the government limits the internet, Minecraft is still available. But of course, even this beloved computer game has its fair share of controversy. One of them revolves around its creator Notch. In 2019, fans have noticed that the man's name had no longer appeared as players boot up the game, yet there is a reason that Microsoft made that move. After the success of the game, Persson's net worth rose to $1.6 billion, yet after the 2014 deal to sell Minecraft, he had left the company. Despite that, however, he will still remain in the spotlight and kept fans divided, mainly for his controversial tweets. According to reports from Variety, in the past, Markus had tweeted transphobic comments about being white, such as "it's okay to be white," and has subscribed to the Pizzagate and QAnon conspiracy theories. On top of removing his name from the game, that very same year, Microsoft revealed that he would not be joining the company as they celebrate the 10th anniversary of the game, due to his past controversies. However, could this fun game be used for something much more dangerous? Well, according to a case in a Welsh court, yes it could be. In 2017, a man named Adam Isaac was using the platform for something much more different than exploring his imagination. According to reports from BBC News at the time, he used it to intimately groom 2 young children, persuading them to carry out intimate acts and exposing himself online. Ultimately, the man has been jailed for 2 years and 8 months. While the gameplay in itself is not really damaging to children, many have realised that this is an issue when it comes to the online version of the game, where any stranger can send a request to a child. The Parents Together group has even held protests, which included in-game billboards, calling the company to do something more in order to protect the children from predators by proposing that they limit in-game private messaging to adults and older teens. Criticizing the company, Justin Rubin, the co-founder of the group, had claimed that Minecraft knows that predators are all over their chat, coercing kids into sexual interactions, but they aren't stopping it. However, in a response they received from Minecraft team, they had stated that, among many other safety features, we require that children under 13 obtain parental consent before they can play Minecraft, and we use chat filters and a team of content moderators to remove abusive, dangerous, and inappropriate content. There are also dangers other than predators, such as scammers. Given that Minecraft offers in-game purchases, those have allowed hackers to target children, and there had been cases where young people have been defrauded of money by trying to buy in-game items from scammers. The more the game continues to be one of the top-selling games way ahead of its competitors, it does not seem like the hype for it will be dying down anytime soon, despite protests from different parent groups. But have you played Minecraft, Curious? What are your thoughts on the game? Do you think Microsoft was right to distance itself from Notch? And do you think that the game could really be that dangerous to children? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.